Hello and welcome back to the Amazon Strategist Show. I'm your host, John Cavendish, and this is the show with no hacks, no silver bullets, no magic pills, just real long-term strategies for your Amazon business. Today, my guest needs no introduction. He is the man with the biggest beard in the Amazon space, and you will be used to having lunch with him rather than afternoon tea. It was a bit of an English pun for the name of this episode. So little do many people know, but Norm Farrar, who's our guest today, has consulted with many Fortune 500 companies such as Coca-Cola, Mercedes-Benz, 20th Century Fox. It's early in the morning, I'm talking very quickly, and other huge businesses, and helping thousands of entrepreneurs grow their Amazon businesses. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Norm Farrar.
Hello.
Thanks, Norm. And thank you, Norm, for staying up past the end of a normal working day. It's 6 p.m. where you are, isn't it?
I can handle that.
Yeah, I know. You're a hardcore guy. Yeah. Cool. So thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure. It's great to be on.
Cool. So can you tell us a little bit about your story, Norm? I know you've been around in the business world for a long time. How did you end up where you are right now? And what are you running right now, actually?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so you want me to answer that one first?
Sorry, one question at a time. What are you involved in right now?
Okay, so right now, probably the funnest thing I'm involved in is the podcast, Lunch with Norm. So I get to meet a lot of interesting people, and it's a lot of fun. The other things I'm involved in, I do have an Amazon. It's not an Amazon. It's a managed brand services. We build brands for businesses. The other part is the Honu Worldwide, which is a sourcing company, but not so much. We're not so much into just going out there and finding the next private label product. It's innovative products and inventory management. That's what we're doing. That's what we're specializing in over there. And then I've got a content management company that provides content, press releases. I'll just call it a brand builder. It's this content amplification to get people ranked and give them authority.
Oh, that's awesome. So everything bounces off one another. You've got the brand management, you've got the sourcing, and then you've got the promotion in order to promote the first part.
Vertically integrated.
Vertically integrated. That's really, really cool. And how do you run those three different companies?
Well, I don't. So people are in place. So, I've got really good people. Like a lot of people probably listening know Afalabi. He's a great guy. When Amazon was expanding into Amazon FBA, Amazon asked him to consult. These guys are pretty smart people that I have working with me. And really, I get involved once a week on a meeting, and then they go and do their thing. They hire their own people. We just make sure that we're on track. So this allows me to kind of look at the high level, and they can run everything I don't want to do. So there we go.
I love it. So keeping them on track, like what kind of, this is going a little bit into the strategic side, but what metrics and KPIs do you track to know that your people are on track?
So, that's a great question. One of the ways that we can sort of do it separately, I can go on my way. We can hire, we can get people, and actually scalability and automation are probably one of the two things I look for. So we'll produce policies and procedures for absolutely 100% everything. We try to get it. It's not quite there yet with the managed brands, but every business I ever built is that I like to get it where people can either leave for a day and have a cover off person, or basically work for 4 days, get paid for 5. And they can do this because of systems and automation. So they know that everything's in a specific folder, what has to be done, what's urgent, what's not urgent. And it's for everything. It's for every little piece. We have, just in launch, there's between tasks and subtasks, we have over 400 SOPs. So 400. So if we use them or we don't use them, it doesn't matter. They're there. These are things that we could use, but we don't have to use. I think a lot of people may have heard the first time I was on AM/PM podcast, Manny Coates, the only reason I think I got on there was I was talking to him about systems. And I told him that I have a system in the office back in the day, how to make a cup of coffee. And he couldn't believe it. But everything is systemized. So that's how I can let people, take charge. And they hire the people who are being trained. They learn how to hire, and they'll learn all the different areas of the company. Now, we also hire experts within. So I don't have a ton of full-time people, but I have stretching across everybody, probably about 50, 55 people that some people are just experts in Facebook ads or Google ads or Amazon or Walmart or whatever it is. So I don't want to know about that. I want to know a little bit about it. When it comes down to it, I just want to make sure that we hit numbers and that, we're all within that all the numbers are adding up. And if they're not, what's going right, what's going wrong. And by the way, that's another thing for efficiencies. We have all sorts of efficiency apps. So we don't waste time. One of the things we ask people when we hire them is give us a screenshot. We want a screenshot of their internet, their phone, their computers, and just to see. I don't want to double or triple pay somebody because they have crappy internet. So we'll end up, if we like them, paying the upgrade from their internet. So most of the time, it might be anywhere from $50 to $100. And if you can get 10 times out of the person, then I'll do that. So even with apps, I was just talking to my son just before I got on, and we were talking about Todoist.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about some shortcuts that he's learned. And that's what I want, shortcuts. Did you know, I think it was copy paste, and there was one other key command, but you lose a few days, and I don't know if it was 3 days or a week in productivity just using those keys, just knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
And so many people don't even know how to do that. So that's what I really, really, really like, efficiencies.
No, I love that. And for copy paste, do you use a Mac or do you use a Windows PC?
I use a Mac, so command,
And
command.
do you have FlyCut? Do you use FlyCut?
I have something called Copy Click, I think it's called.
And then it gives you all the last 100 copy pastes, so
Yeah.
you just tab through everything, so you never lose anything again. And it's so good.
It's another efficiency thing, right? So
I love
it's so bloody cool. One of the things that I am loving right now is the whole Google suite. So we would have things all tied in. This is where Todoist comes in. So I'm in love with Zapier.
Yeah.
And I'm just learning it. I should have learned it years ago, but I was always looking for other types of efficiency apps. But now tying in all of our Google workspaces and getting them to work properly and understanding how they work properly, and something as simple as Todoist with a Zap for teamwork, everything is in one place. And we have a communication channel, which we still use Slack, but I was just testing this out with everybody and saying, hey, why can't we use Google Chat and just start doing it that way and start looking at Google Spaces and Google Keep. I'm not convinced that that's the platform to use. For me, I was on Evernote, but then I've converted everything over to
Notion.
Mac Notes.
Oh, Mac Notes. Wow.
Yeah, Mac Notes, everything.
So you've copied like 50,000 notes so you've exported from Evernote and then into Mac Notes.
Yeah, and just the other day, there's a file that I have. So it's a popular, it's just a file that we constantly bring up, and I constantly forget the name of. And I just put it in notes, and I put it on my own name, and whenever I need it now, it's just boom, and it comes up, and I love notes. Now it's not as robust as Evernote, but it's just something that's on my Mac, and it's easy to use.
I love it, and I love the Todoist Zap integration. I didn't know about that. We're big on Zapier and APIs and as much as we can use.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy how quickly it adds up. Like how many zaps you're doing a month. Like we blasted through 5,000, 10,000 zaps super quickly when you start doing like integrating everything. And it's
Yep.
amazing how much time we can cut out of someone's workflow, like onboarding a client just through using Zapier, and how many things you can do through the APIs at the back end. It's so cool.
I have somebody who helps me out. So I don't even look at my inbox, but somebody else looks at my inbox and they color code everything. And then anything that I need to have, I have in a separate folder. But there's there was a lot of emails that either would come into spam that you never know could slip through, the person wouldn't know, or it could just be some file that I need to know about. And so they were copying and pasting using it was a Google app, it was an add-on, and you just take the information. Oh, it was through Cloud HD, I think. But anyways, it would take and copy the subject matter, the date, the information, and I would just kind of go down. But it was taking time. It was taking a lot of time, and again, it was wasted. Just 2 weeks ago, I went to Zapier, created a Zap, created all my Gmails from the inbox and the spam to go in. I don't even have to look. I take a look at it and boom, it takes 2 seconds. My assistant doesn't even have to do it. So I just gave her, probably half her life back. But just, it's there if you look around for it.
That's awesome. And so when Viv, my assistant, rewatches this, I like Viv, you can set that one up.
There you go.
So what would be your top like 2 or 3 like productivity? This isn't what the episode was going to be about, but I love it. And I think we could talk for hours on zaps and productivity and all that stuff. Like what would be your like top 1, 2, 3 like zaps or productivity hacks that you implement like every day?
Well, one of the things I do, I've always done since 1995, is that I always plan my day the night before. So I have a fairly rigid schedule. So when I take a look at Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, in the mornings, after I take a look, I always have my review with my assistant, and then that takes about a half hour. Then I can move on and do my thing. But it's always my priority, a list priority. Then I go into a call with one of the companies. We have a staff meeting. Then I go in with the other one, staff meeting. Then on Tuesday mornings, it's the same thing. But I leave space after those staff meetings with my either B or my C list. And I really love C's because if I can get rid of 20 items like that, it just cleans up things. So that makes things so easy to do going into the afternoon. My afternoons are usually left for meetings, or if I'm looking for proposals, or if I'm trying to figure out ways to grow the company. Usually on Wednesday afternoons, it's strictly shut off. I turn off, I use another really cool inbox, Gmail app called Boomerang. And I just turn off my inbox for an hour or two. And the whole day, by the way, when I'm doing this, I don't turn on Skype. I don't turn on I think we counted 20 channels of communication. And you try to get one group working with one and another group working with, it just doesn't work. Clients, oh, I'm not going to use that. Oh, I'm going to use that. I want ClickUp. Oh, I want Monday. Oh, I want, it's crazy. So I found an app called Rambox. And
Rambox.
and there's also one called Meet Franz, Franz. And all these do is combine everything into one giant funnel where you can see everything coming in and respond. Well, I have Mary go in and she checks it out and she responds. Like she knows if, like sometimes when you get responses from me, it's not from me, but she knows when you can do that, when you can't do that. If there's anything urgent, she knows how to get a hold of me. Everything else is shut off. So how many interruptions do you do in a day? It makes no sense to be working on something and 10 people interrupt you, especially as you get busier and busier and busier. It's like, why are you interrupting me? And if you're interrupting me, something's not right, because you've got a job to do. You shouldn't have to come to me for approval. So, and that's one thing we try to do in the company too. Go out there, do your thing, make mistakes. You're not going to get in trouble for mistakes. Just understand where the mistake is. And this all leads back to SOPs, and then fix it. It might be because the Amazon interface changed. It might not be. Okay, then what step in the SOP do we have to fix so this mistake doesn't happen again? Mm-hmm. So these are the types of things that I like. The other thing, going back to Todoist, that's another thing where you color code and you make up like 15 or 10 different calendar events, right? Well, you can just drag and drop everything in Todoist, and it all goes into your Amazon or your calendar, all color coded, ready for you to go. And if you want, like if you understand it and you're booking, like say I want to do some follow-up calls, I can book 5 follow-up calls for tomorrow, and they'll all be under one like follow-up task. If I want, I can break it into a group. Okay, I've got an hour over here. I can just drag and drop it into there, and now I've got my 5 that I could talk to. And I mean, it's just so easy. So those are some of the ones that I really like using. But planning your day is probably the one that is the simplest. And for me, I'm a visual person, so everything is color. Also, I don't even know how I live without this anymore, but hiring a person, and you can train the person. They don't have to have experience, but it's better if they do. But somebody that can just control me all day. Even with what we're doing, I've got one person, inbox, one person, meeting responses, and it's the same person. But handles that stuff. I was booking an event for my event for the Formula One. And so, okay, well, we've got a whole bunch of things that we got to do for the Formula One. She's taking care of it. Hotel reservations. Okay, there was a mistake on a day. Just last night, she went and she talked to Founders Card, which is another really great service. And anyways, we found a hotel that I was going to pay. It's because it's Formula One. It's not that I want to pay, but it's $1,000 a room. It's stupid, right? I wouldn't normally pay that, but it was $1,000 a room. She calls Founders Club, and same hotel. It ended up being $336.
Well worth your investment in Founders Card. It's like $500 a year, is it, or $1,000 a year?
Yeah, it's $500. If you get the Elite, it's $895. All well worth it. Yeah. I even with that Founders Card, I know I always joke around with Kevin King. We went on a little venture a couple of months back, and we were meeting in Vancouver. So I told him, use the Founders Card. We stayed at this really nice hotel, and he was $3,300. Okay, that's what it cost for these days that we were there. And I came in, I got a better room, higher floor, and it was $2,100. So. But these are the things that can help with Founders Card, by the way. I'm not that I'm pushing Founders Card, but I paid the extra $300. So it's $800 a year or something like that. But they have a concierge service. So the online sellers tour, the ship cruise that Carlos Alvarez has. Every port we went to, hey, what are the 5 best tourist sites? What are the 5 best restaurants? And okay, book it. And it was all through the concierge. So once I found it, Mary would book it, or Kathy back at that time.
Yeah, I love it. And I love your tip about planning the night before and color coding. I'm going to check out Todoist. I think it's a great idea because I don't have integration currently between my to-do list and my app, and my assistant's always like, where can we fit this into the calendar? But if you can just tick a button across, even better. I love that.
Yeah, Doodle. I don't know if you ever use Doodle. So this is another just time saver. So you've got, what it's like when you're talking to 3, 4, 5 people, you're trying to set a meeting. I can do this day. Well, I can't do that date. And it goes back 10 times. Well, Doodle, there's free Doodle, and then there's a paid Doodle. It's very minor, but you can set up these polls, and you can tell your time availability, their time availability, and then it selects. Boom! This is the best time. One email. You know what? I should just do a thing on productivity apps.
You should do an episode on productivity apps. I love it. And it'd be like evergreen content as well, which is super cool. Until all the apps change, as always.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the Formula One as well. I'm going to the Singapore one next Friday with a group. So it's gonna be super cool.
Come to Austin. We got 2 seats left.
I would. It's just a 30-hour flight.
It's okay.
Not 2 hours and $50.
Yeah.
Hotels though, they still gouge you on hotels in Singapore, just like they would in everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anything from $350 to $1,000 a night, as you said, depending on
you couldn't even during the race. If you can get something, 800 is mine. It is like for the 3 days. 800. I mean, they get you.
Yeah, they really get you then. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Norm. And there's some amazing stuff we can take out of there and make little snippets of Norm's productivity. So thank you so much. All right, there's a couple of things that we wanted to go into, which was about show me the money, the profitability for Amazon businesses. And I think anyone that's listening and anyone that's listening to the re-recording should be able to take a lot away from what you've already shared on structure. Strategically, as we grow, we need the SOPs, we need the processes, we need people that we can hold to account, and the smartest people that we can afford at the time. So how, if sellers at different revenue brackets, I guess we're talking about the guys at the start, guys in the middle of their journey, maybe 20 to 100K a month, and then the guys who are scaling, 100K plus. Like, where are some places which they can easily increase their profits?
It doesn't matter who you are. One of the biggest, one of the disasters, I was able to change the company around, but a $10 million company came to me, and they thought they were doing really well. They were losing $100,000 a month, or a year. $100,000 they lost that year. They were a $10 million company. So they were telling everybody their top revenue numbers, right?
Yeah.
So is that better than the beginner learning, and pay their Amazon tax? So one of the things is everybody hears it, and it's kind of a gag moment, but know your numbers. You just have to know the basics of this, and just to move yourself forward, understand your landed cost, understand all the fees and what you're selling it for. Many Amazon sellers, by the time they take in their marketing costs or their PPC, could be, or especially during Prime Day. I don't even do, I know, Tim Jordan and I, we talked about this quite a bit, and we don't do anything different during Prime Day with our PPC. In fact, we start to bid low at the beginning, bring it up just a bit, and then at the end, last third of Prime Day, we start winding up the bids, because that's when everybody's out of inventory. So anyways, the things that anybody can do, regardless of what type of seller you are, is you take a look at your listing. Now, first thing you want to do is make sure you're negotiating your product properly with your manufacturer, and can you get better negotiations if you're doing a second order or third order. But tip one would be only negotiate on the product. If this is the beard comb, you negotiate on the beard comb, and that alone. Do not negotiate with packaging. Go to a packaging company, see what their costs are. Then you can go back and say, hey, what about the packaging? First of all, manufacturers are not usually designers. And second of all, they're going to put 30 points on or more on the packaging. So you can get the packaging company to come up with some really great packaging, send it over to your packet or to the manufacturer. 9 times out of 10, they'll put the package together, kit. It's called the kitting and assembly,
Hmm.
and they'll do that for free 9 times out of 10. So right off the bat, you can save money there. So I love talking about perception. And when you come over to an Amazon listing, pretty much any listing for any type of product, there's 3 levels. The newbie that just took a course, they're usually wanting to fight at lowest price. They're afraid. They hear all these people say, "You have to have the lowest price. Have to have the lowest price." No, you don't have to have the low. None of my products have the lowest price. I'm at usually the higher end of everything, and the reason for that is if you take a look, and this is a true model. Everything it comes out in 3 tiers. You've got the low tier, and Dead Sea Mud. I did some research on this, and at the time it was almost $7 to 14 something. That was your low end. It's Dead Sea Mud packed in an 8-ounce and a 16-ounce jar. Same mud. The next level was in the 20s. I think it was 24 something, and it went up to 44. Remember that one? So okay, the packaging was a little bit better. The listings were a little bit better. Still 18 to 16 ounce. Went to the top tier. These are the ones that have the most expensive product, and that's 79 to 95. The $95 Dead Sea Mud, the $95 Dead Sea Mud was a 3.5 ounce. So if you take a look at the difference in the listings, way better. They knew what they were doing. And one of the things you can't do, like when you put out a listing, this beard comb, I might want to get $100 for this beard comb, but if it doesn't have the value that you have, like the listing might be really great, and this comes in a burlap bag, nobody's going to like it. You're going to get a lot of 1-star reviews. But if this comes in a beautiful, package, and anyways, if it's in a nice package and you have a great customer experience, you don't mind paying more for this beard comb. In this example, by the way, this beard comb was I bought it for 79 cents on Amazon. That's what it was at the time. I reverse engineered it and I went to the manufacturer. It was 36 cents. I have no idea why they were selling for 79. I bought 2 others. One came in a nice box in a vinyl pouch, and the other one came, and I have it. I just don't know where it is, but it's the same beard comb, but it was in a leather die cut pouch where you could put your credit cards. The other one was 11 something, and that one was 17.95. In fact, the Art of Shaving has this beard comb for $30. 36 cents.
Wow.
So every single, I don't care if it's an HDMI cable, whatever it is. Now, what you have to watch out for is you have to make sure that your search volume, your pricing competition are okay. Very easy to find out. You might want to come out in that second tier because there's way more traffic. Okay, so you might get a lot more sales. Or there's enough traffic with a lot more profitability where you could just, even with a third of the traffic or a tenth of the traffic, you might be able to be way more profitable. So that's one thing that you can look at, and that's perceived value. And it's the cheapest thing. Like you can go out there and you can get a nice corrugated cardboard box or just something that's different, and that $1 can get you $10 back. Yeah. Anyways, that's something I thought I'd mention.
No, I love it. Perceived value of packaging, and at the end of the day, that's everything we sell, isn't it? Ourselves, our packaging, our branding, our personal websites, LinkedIn, everything. Yeah, just like you with your awesome pictures, the beard guy on the wall.
There we go. But even on that note about branding, if your branding's inconsistent, so everybody on pretty much everybody, anybody I know, anybody at any of these events that are happening are micro brands. So if you go to Prosper or the Sell and Scale that's going on right now, everybody in the audience is a micro brand. And what happens is, I don't know about you, but if I go to Amazon and I see a beard comb and there's 10 other beard combs there, I'm going to check out the listing. I'm going to see the quality. I'm not going to buy the cheapest one. I just think about
me neither.
Pets, for your kids. Who's going to buy the cheapest one? It's a fallacy. You were going to, at least for me, I would buy a better, more expensive one, even though it looks the same. This is a beard comb. There's like the menu, just go and check it out. This beard comb is sold by so many people, all different prices. So anyways, I'm going to check. And the first thing a consumer has in the back of his head is that they want a red flag. They do not want to trust that this is going to be real. So what's going to happen is they're going to check the internet. They're going to see what your website looks like, and they're going to see your social media, and if there's any content or influencers that are, pushing the product. If it's good and it's brand consistent, and you don't have to spend a lot of money for this, then you got a sale. And there's a formula. It's just authority equals trust equals sales. And if you follow that routine, you'll beat your competitor.
I love that. So yeah, red flags. I think that's an amazing golden nugget taken away from this episode. Web social influencers. If someone's searching for you, any brand, I guess, whether it's a service, whether it's a Amazon product, have that. And then the authority, trust, and sales.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. Norm's secret formula.
Yeah.
The non-secret secret formula.
There we go. Shh, that's just between us.
So I remember us talking before about Google and you having some really some views on Google secrets for brands. So would you like to dive into that a little bit?
Sure. It was funny. I was talking to this incredible, it's been a few incredible marketers that have come on the podcast. And I didn't think I'd be telling them anything new. And it was Google Business Profile. And they've heard of it. They never used it. And it was like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, all this information that you just give me, I'm just going to give this. This is for you. And anyways, it's so amazing what you can do with this. I don't want to hype it up, but it's like, Amazon posts. The people that do Amazon posts and the people that monitor the reports, and they're seeing, who or what is, how many clicks you're getting on those shoppable links. It takes 4 or 5 clicks to get there. As an email or as a marketer or an e-commerce marketer, every time you click, you're losing 50+% of your traffic. So at the end of the day, the people that are going to your last click, and this is where Amazon is measuring from, the last click to your listing. Well, guess what? Those conversion rates are killer. Now, we don't know what they are, but I can guarantee that if you've got 100 people going over there and they've clicked 3 or 4 or 5 times to get to your listing, they like what they see in the image and they want your product. And the chances are probably 30+% of the time, they're going to be the people buying it. And it's no coincidence that if you monitor your conversion rate at the beginning of posts and show yourself 3 months, a year later, if you do nothing else, I can't guarantee this at all, but I know for a fact you'll see higher conversion rates. So that's something that we love with posts. Well, the same thing goes with Google My Business. You can go up, you can create an account, and your listeners are probably going to come back. Anybody who's SEO savvy is going to come back and say, no, you can't. You have to be bricks and mortar. And no, go and check brands.google.com, and you'll find out that you can use Google Business Profile for your brand, even though Business Profile will tell you it's for bricks and mortar. But brands.google.com, I've been doing it for years. So they allowed this about 2 years ago, and we've been killing it with our brand traffic. So what you can do with it is you can have, and just in case you don't know what it is, it's on the right-hand side. If you've ever, done a search, you'll see all the information. You might see a map. You don't have to show a map, but you'll see images. You'll see the logo, description, reviews, stuff like that. On your phone, it's 3 swipes of real estate, by the way. You have to do this 3 times. Number 1 position. If you're number 1 with a keyword with Google Business Profile, you cannot be number 2.
Yeah.
And you get 3 swipes. How much real estate is that? So anyway, with this, it needs effort. It needs 10 minutes a day. That's what we say. You can post pictures. You can create your brand. It actually will ask, what's your brand? What's your category? You can post pictures over there. I can take this image. I can call this a sandalwood beard comb. I can say that this is a beard comb made in India. I can say whatever it is. And this URL can be linked back to my Amazon store, back to my product listing, back to my Shopify, back to my Walmart, anything I want. So plus everything that you add content-wise, every social post that has your anchor link in it. So your anchor link is just, it could be the link to your product listing, store, wherever you want. It could be back to your Shopify site. But if that's in your post, if that's in an Instagram, if that's in wherever, you are getting instant indexing on whatever that is. And it's incredible. Also, I was talking to a guy the other day about this. Let's say that you're doing a Pinterest pin or a Facebook post, or if you write a blog article is a better example. So if you write a blog article and you get the word out there, how do you get the word out there? How do you start to rank? Well, if you put that into your email signature and you just have a short link in there and, read our latest blog article, and people, when you send that out, that indexes. If you're sending an email through Gmail, that gets indexed. A lot of people don't realize that. If you're doing any type of slides, if you're using any of the Google products, Sheets. Here's an example. This is bricks and mortar. This was a car dealership in Seattle. They were spending $50,000 a month on SEO. Okay, at $50,000, and they were. It was just archaic the way that they were updating their pricing. So they switched to Google Sheets. It was updated every day. And not only did they get incredible SEO value, they spent $1,000 on SEO.
Wow. So $49,000 a month. And I didn't know that. So I didn't know that Google indexed everything that passes through their system. So that's an amazing tip.
If you have
I love
chat,
that.
if you have Meet, if you have any Google tool.
Yeah, that's incredible. Facebook user. I wish we could see who you are, but that's crazy, and only the best for that beard. So, yeah, I love that. That's such an amazing nugget, and I'm going to use that. I think any of the listeners who are watching should implement that immediately. Brands.google.com. 10 minutes a day, posting content, indexing content.
Yeah, sorry. One other thing with that is that Google has something called a clickless search. So if I wanted to, this bottle, okay? So I wrote an article on lemon flavored water, okay? It went out there and it was a high quality. One of the things, if you don't know how to write a high quality formatted article, just go to YouTube and find out. Or Neil Patel. He's another one where you can go to and find ways to write an article. I learned through a guy named Steve Wiedemann, absolute genius, and it changed around our search engine optimization when it comes to anything for that. Anyways, lemon flavored water. If it's a great article, and all of a sudden in there you're talking about your social consciousness for recyclable material. It could be about other flavors of water. It could be that it's 9 calories of lemon flavored water. It could be a lot of different words that are just in your article naturally. Well, Google will give you a clickless search. And we've done this like with a bully stick. All of a sudden it was odorless bully sticks ended up in grass-fed bully sticks, ended up with all these keywords that all of a sudden we're ranking for that we never spent a penny, not a single penny on. So that's another big reason why we love Google My Business. It was called Google My Business. Now it's Google Business Profile. And by the way, if you don't know how to get there, you can just go to profile or business.google.com. Or if you already have a workspace or a Gmail, you can go into the icons top right and click on it. And you're going to see a little house and it'll look like it's called Profile.
Love it. Love it. Always gold talking to you, Norm. Amazing. There's so many things I want to ask you. I think we're going to have to get you back on another episode at some point in the future.
No problem.
So you know, how long have you been running your podcast now? Slight change of subject.
Podcast has been a year and 3. April will be 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
I think that's a year and a half. And you know, you've built one of the biggest or most respected and most respected podcasts in the space. Like, what do you think is your secret to so many people tuning in and so much traction?
I kind of leave it to my son.
Kelsey's the secret. I'm going to hire him.
Well, Kelsey's the secret, but that's another thing. So what people don't realize is I really don't do anything for the podcast. So we have a team. This comes back to efficiencies again, that go look at events. There's research. They ask for talking points. Kind of a quick script is put together. Kelsey gives me the script 10 minutes before the podcast, and the podcast goes. So it really goes with, like, I just sit down and talk. But probably just we're different. We have a unique position. You know, it's a father and son team. I'm an old guy with a beard. You know, it's a bit of the brand. The branding is tight. You know, I've always wanted to have, if we're going to do it, we got to do it right. So that's probably what it is. And we have gimmicks. You know, people like the Wheel of Kelsey. We had one guy give away $15,000, like a service, $15,000 service the other day. And he gave 10 other $3,000 services. Like, who does that? We weren't like, it was crazy. Most of the time, you know, we'll give away some consulting or maybe a course or something. But that's one of the things that people like about it, and a lot of content, way more than I ever expected.
And what type of content do you think vibes most with your audience? Or is it?
You don't know. Like I asked Kelsey, I looked at our YouTube yesterday and all of a sudden we had this big spike. And it was about this little snippet that was put together. And you never know what's going to hit. Unfortunately, doing what we're doing on YouTube, it's really tough to get people to tune in for a full episode. They'll cut out, you know, they might rewatch it. So one of the things that we've done is, okay, where are they cutting out? And we've tried to say, okay, why? And it's just this long podcast. You know, it's an hour long like this. That's the hardest. You know, people have 20-minute podcasts. That's the way to go. You know, if that's what you want to do. However, what we do is we take what are the 5 things, you know, that came out of this podcast, and we make a 3-minute snippet or a 10-minute snippet, and those are the ones that take off. So, like the other day, we put out this one snippet. I don't know why it took off, but all of a sudden 8,000 views overnight. It was like, what happened? You know, why? And the conversion rate sucked. So people saw it, they saw the title, and it wasn't what they wanted, but we got the impressions. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. I love that. And we're doing the same thing with snippets and things. So we'll be sending some of those over. But yeah, thank you for sharing. Like, yeah, I loved your journey and I've loved tuning in and watching it. And
Oh, thanks.
cool. So I know we've got 15 minutes left and we've got a few more bits to get through of the show. And now we're going to come up to our competition. So we don't have any sound effects yet. I've almost got them sorted. And with Vivian's support from next time, we'll have clapping and stuff. So are you okay to be the clapper? No.
Yep, I can do that.
All right, here we go. All right, let's get into the, we don't have a name for the wheel, the Amazon Strategist Show competition. All right, we're back again. So after here at the show, what we want to do is we want to give back. And part of that, giving back to our listeners, is that we run a competition. So if you're watching the re-show of this or you're watching and listening anywhere else, please do click this link and enter so that you can be on the list, so that every week our guest will put forward 1 to 3 prizes, and then we spin the wheel and you may win the guest prize or you may win a prize from one of the previous guests. So if you're really excited to talk to Norm and win one of his prizes, enter now because you can still win it. And we'll announce the winners next week on the next live show. So events.casalicandi.com/AMZ/strategy. So we have 3 winners to announce this week. Winner number 1 is Ali Navid, who's winning a 15-minute call with Anatoly, who is a process expert who came to talk about processes 2 weeks ago. So congratulations, Ali.
Right.
Number 2, we have, this is me doing the producing at the same time. We have Tanya Tan, who's won a free consultation with Z. I know Z were one of your sponsors in the past.
Yep.
Norm, I remember when I was on your show, we had you cut out doing that sponsorship. So Z are awesome people, really cool guys. So for international expansion, what they're going to do is they're going to jump on a call with you, Tanya, break down whether your product's a good opportunity in that marketplace, and then tell you how they can support you in launching it and what kind of volume you should send over there in order to test whether that's Europe or Australia or any of those other international markets. And because Anatoly seemed to be on the wheel loads this week, Maria Adolfson won another 15-minute call with Anatoly for life automation. So just as Norm was going through at the start of this episode, basically using those tools to really save time, automate your life, and make your life 10 times easier. So are you ready to bring up the wheel, Norm?
I'm ready. More clapping?
More clapping? Well, naturally, you are in control now.
Oh, okay.
Not physically, just audibly. But if you say spin that wheel, we will spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
This is where we need the music. Post, put in the music. Awesome. So winner number 1 is an Amped campaign review.
There we go.
So Amped have some awesome software that allow you to basically run Google ads to your Amazon listing and track full attribution. So check out Amped and also enter the competition for the chance to actually win this prize. We'll be drawing it before the next live show. All right, 2 more, Norm. Next one.
All right, spin that wheel.
Norm, your prize 1.
Oh, there we go.
So Norm put forward a free press release through, which company is this through, Norm?
This will be through Netfluence.
Netfluence. I love the name.
Thanks.
So through Netfluence, free press release, enter for chance to get that free press release from Norm. And one more time.
All right, spin the wheel.
And what is it? What is it?
So, ping pong.
Ping pong.
There we go.
So 30-minute consulting call with Matt, although I believe Matt has now left ping pong. So 30-minute consulting call with Matt's new replacement. Matt's an awesome dude as well. I know he's gone to another payment provider, but we're going to update that one. But yeah, 30-minute call with ping pong. And I know that they can sort you out with a rate that's not advertised on their site. So anyone that's moving money, whether it's from US to China, or whether they're moving money, to pay their suppliers, or they're internationally receiving payments, saves you money. Just don't transfer money with your bank. Your bank is screwing you. Most likely.
Most likely.
Definitely. On the exchange rates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yep.
Also, Norm, you put forward a free tariff buddy. So that's going to stay on the wheel, and we're going to carry on spinning. So we'll introduce them to you and someone on your team whenever someone wins that, and carry on talking about it for the next few weeks.
Sure. Yep. That's a great prize, by the way. If you don't know about harmonized tariff codes, get to know them, because you could be losing thousands and thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars.
Do you want to go into that for a second? How harmonized tariff codes work? Just because I think that's super interesting, and I'd love to give that as a little value to our listeners.
Sure. So usually when you're shipping something from China, they'll assign a code, and the codes are they're vast, they're very diverse, and complex. So a lot of the times you get the wrong code. So just to give you an example, let's say I'm bringing over, this is a real case, by the way, I'm bringing over natural soap. So I'm buying natural soap. Let's say it's coming out of China. It comes in, and they have an HS, not a harmonized tariff tax, or harmonized. Now I'm gonna screw it up. Anyways, the proper. I'm an old guy. This is what happens when you're old. You're
not old, no.
What is it? HTC. Anyways, harmonized tariff tax.
Yeah.
Anyways, when it comes over, I have to pay 17%, and you have your Trump tax too, which you can add another 25 on that. We were able to change this because natural soap because it was an olive oil based soap, is a Castile soap. And so we had to change this, this number. And now when it came in, it was zero. There was zero. So I saved 17%. This is for my own product.
Yeah.
And I made that mistake. Afalabi was able to dig into it and go, what are you doing? And I know that these were for some metal signs. He uses this all the time, is that he was doing something at the beginning of COVID, and he was able to save a company 15 grand on the shipment because they had the wrong HST. That's a tax here in Canada. I'll remember afterwards, harmonized.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, whatever it is. But anyways, the code, if it has to be changed, and I've got to remember this bloody thing. Oh my God. You know what? It is. It's wicked when you get to my age, trying to think things through.
You're talking about your great age, Norm. How old are you?
I'm 60 in a couple of days. So
Nice. When's your birthday?
October 16th.
October 16th. Nice. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. I'm not looking forward to 60. I wasn't looking forward to 50 nor 40. But
it's my birthday next week too.
Oh, is it? Oh, congrats. It's harmonized tariff codes. That's what it is. So HTC. That's what it is.
HTC. Yeah. Got it. All right. We'll edit that out.
Yeah, please edit that out.
We'll put a click there. Like, I know what it was. Dum.
Yeah, exactly. Right off the top. And you could just put some music. Old guy thinking.
A few moments later, that meme.
That's what it is. It's horrible, especially when it's my company, right? So, anyways, it's really great prize. Anybody who gets it could save some big bucks.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And thank you for putting that forward, Norm. Super
problem.
Awesome. And I think we just saw a little dog tail come through your door. Do you have a dog?
Oh yeah, he's probably back there somewhere.
I saw a tail wagging past the door.
I was live on the podcast the other day. You know what he brings down? Like on the podcast, all of a sudden you see this dog. He's got a raw egg in his mouth.
In his mouth.
Where did he get it from, first of all? And then he brings it to me. It was a raw, like it wasn't cooked.
So he's and dogs are supposed to hold them very gently, aren't they? Like, so if
Yeah,
they hold a raw, so he's just walking around with a raw egg in his mouth.
it was the first time I've ever seen him do it. Usually, you bring me a knife.
Nice.
Dumb dog.
Oh, what type of dog is he?
Golden retriever.
I love golden retrievers. They're the nicest, most amazing, friendly dogs.
Yeah, he's super friendly. Really dumb too.
Oh. But he's a knife-wielding dog, so you got to be careful. Don't call him dumb openly. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we got one last section of the podcast, Norm. Just
Sure.
9 questions.
Uh-huh.
And this is the rapid fire section of the podcast. Our very own Ben Smith says Wheel of Kelsey is epic.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
An awesome job on Norm's podcast a few weeks ago. So yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for having all of us on. We've actually got someone else on the team we'd love to have on your podcast as well, potentially one day, one of our absolute experts. So, rapid fire questions. Are you ready? The rules are, there are no rules, just as quick as possible.
Okay.
All right. Question 1. Your favorite Amazon niche?
Pets.
If you could choose no pictures or no reviews, which would you pick?
No reviews.
Name a country that starts with the letter N.
Norway.
For November. Norway. Which Amazon marketplace is the next big opportunity?
I know India is exploding. Next big one. Maybe I like to think Brazil, but it's a very tough marketplace to get into.
That's a cool one. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Oh, sometimes. Depends what I feel like. Typically, no.
Name something appealing about working from home.
Judge Judy whenever I want. You know what? I love working at home, by the way. I do. But I do miss the office.
Yeah, me too. I love working from home. Organic sales or ad sales?
Organic if possible, but ad sales necessary.
Second to last question. Name something you'd hate to find swimming around in your bathtub.
Yeah, I could say a few things. Well, my dog.
Any space in your bath? You must have a big bathtub.
Yeah.
And one just for you. Beards. What's the ultimate beard length?
Oh, so right now, I usually trim it a fist. So 1 fist at a time. So throughout the year, it's 2 fists, but I want it 2 fists longer. So I want it right around, my belly button. That's my
belly button. That really is the beard guy. It's going to take forever for anyone to catch you if you get to that level.
It's just tough. Once it gets where it is right now, I got to go for a trim. One, and then it takes 6 months. I got to go for another one. But yeah, I just wish it would grow.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to grow at the moment, but
it's
I think
close. You're close. You're close second.
Second on the podcast right now. Yeah, but no, I was thinking that what wisdom and wealth come from beard length. So got to see how far I can get it. We'll see when I see it prosper next year whether I've managed to tame it.
Right.
It's not going to be that big. It might be maybe another here. We'll see. Cool. Thank you so much, Norm. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for everything you do. I do actually love your show, and I do tune in.
Yeah, it was great coming on here. It was a lot of fun. Laid back. This is like lunch with Norm. It's just laid back, having fun. So that's great.
So we'll do afternoon tea, a high tea, with the little pinky out.
Oh yeah.
We'll do that. And how should people contact you, reach out, and what's the best way to follow you around the internet?
You can go to Lunch with Norm, the website, anywhere, any social. My direct email is just norm@amz, like Amazon, amz.club.
I like that. That's a very cool. I like any AMZ URLs are great. That's
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We do actually have a Q&A section now, but we don't have anyone coordinating it. So if there are any questions, please feel free to submit. We are coming up to the hour, so we'll see who's watching and if there's any questions. This is usually when Vivian, our producer, is like fielding them from everywhere and putting them on the screen, and where I am disorganized. So we shall see. I guess it's evening now in Canada. Like, do you have any nice plans for the evening?
I'm gonna go have some Swanson Hungry Man dinner, probably. Only the best.
Tim Hortons. No, I lived in Canada for a year. I really, I
Yeah,
love Canada.
Where?
Waterloo.
Don't tell me that.
Why?
That's where I'm from.
You're from Waterloo, Kitchener, Waterloo.
Kitchener, Waterloo. I used to live in North Waterloo. Whereabouts? Kind of curious.
Columbia Lake Village, because I was an exchange student. So it's one of the student campuses, like the south.
Oh yeah, by the university.
By the university, yeah. So we went to Filthy's. Was Phil's there when you were there?
Yeah. Morley's, the bomb shelter. Is the bomb shelter still there?
I don't know. I was there 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while.
Hey, look at 30 years ago, the bomb shelter was a place to be. I think
Phil's was definitely the place to be. It's very sticky and underground.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of university dive bar, which was a lot of fun. Awesome. And I love that area, just the names, because it's all places from the UK, but completely out of context. Like Stratford upon Avon, which is on Lake Ontario, not upon Avon.
I know. Yeah, very heavy British influence.
Yeah, in London.
Kitchener. Lord Kitchener.
I didn't know Lord Kitchener.
Yeah.
Cool. I was a big fan of Waterloo. It's great. Had a really good year there.
Yeah, a lot of smart people coming out of that university, tech-wise.
And lots of jokes, because back then BlackBerry was still a thing, and it's RIM, isn't it? Research in motion. So there's so many jokes going about RIM, basically. Yeah. Who's going to get the latest job there? Yeah. All of that type of thing.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, Norm, anything else you'd like to share, and just thank you so much for being here.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on. And, if anybody does have any questions, just, reach out. I return anybody who reaches out. So just hit me up.
Oh, thanks, Norm. Thank you so much for being here. We all appreciate you. I appreciate you. And until next week, thank you for joining into the Amazon Strategist Show. This brings us to the end of the episode. If you haven't liked, subscribed, clicked somewhere around this video, please do that. If you enjoy the show, please do leave us a review on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that you can leave a review. Until then, I'm your host, John Cavendish. This is Norm Farrar, and see you all next week.
All right.
Goodbye.
See you later.